I got to tell you, I am more excited after rewatching the tape of the Broncos than I was even after the Broncos game or even while sitting in Lumen watching the Broncos game as we go into week 2 here. I'm pumped, dude.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Look, offensively, it was a nightmare. The first half, dare I say, S show. All right? It was not pretty. 2 safeties. We're backing up all the time. Gino's throwing a pick on play 2. The world's freaking out. But as you rewatch it for the second time, as you prepare to do your podcasts out there, everybody, as you're sitting at home realizing that everything became okay in the second half, it's kind of fun to watch. It's fine.
I, as a player, former player, knew we had it the whole time. We were sitting together. I told you, relax. We got this.
Who are you, Aaron Rodgers?
No, man. I just that's what it has to be, that stoic mentality of no matter what happens, good or bad, you have to stay even keel. That Mamba mentality, right? What Kobe always spoke about is like there's a sweet spot just right here. Mm-hmm. Can't be too high, can't be too low. And that way nothing affects you no matter good or bad. You move on to the next play, the next series, the next game in this situation. So I am not surprised we won. You're at home. We talked about it. You got a rookie QB. We took care of business. And it was ugly in the beginning. But I think what I was so excited about was it didn't phase us with everything that went wrong. There's a mindset being built in that stadium, in that locker room.
Yeah, well, look, offensively, and that was what it was. But defensively, and that's what's got me really excited because all those quick changes, and we talked about it after it happened, but rewatching it, the defense is sick, dude. This defense is here to play this year. If they get their hands on you, you are going down. You're going down hard. And I can't wait to see them going up against Jacoby Brissett and the New England Patriots, although they did have a good game against the Bengals, and we'll get into it with our guests and as we go through the episode here. But this defense going up against some receivers, ? In New England, sign me up.
Absolutely. Are you saying, am I hearing Legion of Boom 2.0, Brett?
You want me to say it out loud?
I mean, you've hinted at it several times.
I think that this defense has a chance to be so good, they'll have their own nickname. So I'm not even going to say Legion of Boom 2.0. They're their own thing. The whole defense is different structured, different setup, different coach. They're going to have their own nickname by the time things are all said and done.
I have taught you well, brother. See, I'm pulling you to the side of, okay, just getting a little more educated about, times change. The standard's been set around here, right? But yes, I need to see a little more before I start crowning them, right?
Well,
they might be who we thought they were. Shout out Denny Green right there.
What stood out to you from week 1 from the Broncos game, and what positively stood out to you, and then how do they take whatever that is into week 2?
Yeah, the resilience. I mean, my God, you talk about a horrific start and where we heard the boo birds come out very early and very loudly, and, sitting there watching, I just want to see how they respond. And they got out there after an interception, held them to 3, after a fumble, right? Like they just kept responding over and over. And that was just, it's a mindset, because it's a new coach, brand new coach. And he's already established the standard in terms of what he expects in terms of attitude. And that was very evident to me and very clear. And so that's something you can hang your hat on. That's toughness. And so in terms of building an identity, we're well on our way.
What stood out to me was our run game and sticking with it, getting K9 going, even later. And the longer the game went, the stronger he got. And the more that we stuck with it, the better it obviously became. However, you got the abdominal. He goes questionable at the end of the game. So what stood out to me in such a positive way has also kind of become a concern as we look towards week 2 going into the Patriots game, who it was stout against the run, by the way. I think they only gave up 70 yards to the Bengals.
Right. So, of course, but as I know probably better than anybody, injuries happen and the show goes on just like it does in Hollywood, Brett. So I got no worries about Sharps getting more carries. And then even Mac, who he was active and we just didn't see him in the game. So we saw how dynamic this kid, which is why we took him a year ago. And now he's healthy and getting the opportunity. So I think he'll make the most of it. But hopefully it was just a cautious thing, holding, K9 out the end. We were up 2 scores, we need to grind out some clock.
I hope so. I hope so, because I respect Zach. I have no clue what it takes to play in this league, but he's no K9. We need K9 out there.
Well, hey, opportunities, we see what everybody's made of when the opportunity, arises. So yeah. I'm not ready to say anybody's not,
Well, I'm rooting
K9
for him.
Or anybody else.
I'm rooting for him, right? I mean, if he comes out and has a day, I'll be the first one to jump up on the couch or first one getting online buying a Charbonnet jersey. But K9 is just a special kind of guy. The first guy never brings him down. He's always falling for it. He's quick as hell. I mean, there's never a normal K9 run.
Yeah, some of the most impressive, kind of like Barry Sanders, some of the most impressive 1 to 2 yard runs where he broke 4 tackles, got hit in the backfield 6 yards deep. But to this point, though, I remember when a 3-time Pro Bowler went down with injury, and in stepped an undrafted David Hawthorne, and he had 16 tackles. Should have been a forced fumble. They took it away from him, but we reviewed it and against the Bears, and it was just, you never know, right? It could happen, and then we got stronger as a defense, right? So,
who was it the Heater came in for?
Some old dude.
Rhymes with
Tofa Latupu.
Yeah, man. What about DK though? He's got to get going in this game, because as I rewatched the other one, I mean, he I don't know, he had some targets, but it wasn't the game you're looking for from him in week 1. And so as I look towards week 2, I look to get him going.
Yeah, no excuses. He was playing against the highest paid corner in league history.
He's got another good corner this week.
He does. But I think as DK revisits that film this week, I think some opportunities that if he just works back to the ball 1 or 2 times. Other than that, it was really tight coverage. That's why they paid him very well, Surtain. But if he just works back to the ball, because you look at Tyler, and in every one of his catches except for the one-handed stab that won the game, he worked back to the ball every time, because Tyler can't necessarily get the separation he used to, or the DK can, right? And so Tyler, what makes him so special, so veteran savvy, is okay, the guy's on me, he thinks he's got me covered, the ball's thrown, I'm breaking back to it, and now the guy has to adjust his angle even though he was right next to me. And then that, when he turns around, the spatial awareness, now he can make a juke, go upfield, do whatever he wants. And so that was what really stood out to me in terms of things that they'll review in the film room as a receiver group. And it's something that JSN does very well. He eats up zone coverage. He is a nightmare versus zone, much like Tyler.
O-line's got to step up.
Yeah. You got to get something. Gino had very little to no time, and still he made good decisions. That guy fell on his knee on that one interception. But when we got the ground game going, and he had a little more time, and then he's got some crazy legs back there, 40-yard touchdown.
He does. I mean, he can escape. That run was amazing, but their pass rush was getting after him, and New England's got a pass rush, man.
Oh, they do. And so, we got our work cut out for us, but we had some rough patches, or series in the first half, got in the locker room, came back out, established the run, just stuck with it, because it's hard. You could play, I take it back to when we played the Niners in 2006, and we're just in our fits. We're, giving them hell. And the Niners still ran it 30 times with a guy by the name of Frank Gore running behind Larry Allen. And it just took one crease. It takes one person being out of gap or undisciplined. And then Frank goes for a 60-yarder. And now the stat sheet looks really awful when we have to review it after the game. So, we'll be all right. Just I got faith in them and, getting it right up front because, we got too much talent.
Well, if they can protect him and let him stand back there long enough, he'll be able to probably throw for quite a few yards, which will allow the team to be able to go with the throw.
Delta.
Delta, everybody. Delta Airlines, proud sponsor of All Day here. Go with the throw. You guys can earn 1 mile for every Seahawks passing yard this season with Delta 12 status. Sign up and start earning miles at 12status.com. Open to legal residents of Washington, must be 18 or older. Speaking of throwing and catching and receiving and yards, Lofa, our guest, I believe, is here, so we should get to him. It's Chris Hogan, veteran wide receiver of the league. His nickname 7-Eleven because he's always open. You know that.
That's a good nickname. If you got a nickname, I don't think I ever had a nickname. I mean, if you got a nickname, you're doing something right. I think Walter Jones, see the jersey? That's fine. He did call me Chalupa once, but I think that's because he didn't know my name was Tatupu. Either way, I'll take it. I could have got a Taco Bell deal out of it. I should have if I was smarter.
He's the only one that can call you that.
NIL and endorsements weren't big like that back then.
Hey, let's take a break and we'll bring in our guest. Chris Hogan's our guest here. I mean, we're talking week 2, the matchup with the Seahawks and the Patriots coming up. Chris, I mean, you I'm sure watched the Bengals and the Patriots in week 1. How's this Patriots team looking and how are you looking at them going into this matchup with the Seahawks?
I mean, this Patriots team has got a lot of confidence going into week 2. No one had projected them to get a win in Cincinnati, regardless of what was going on there. Jamar was on the field. Joe was healthy. They were seemingly a very healthy team, but they really were flat. I mean, you kind of saw it in week 1. There's going to be a ton of that. Having guys have to play all 4 quarters, haven't really played a lot of football. But New England, listen, they're going to be the underdogs in every single game this year. They played like it. They played well. The defense, obviously, we're going to rely on a ton. So they created some turnovers. Special teams was big, and Jacoby didn't turn the ball over. Mm-hmm. So that's like going to be our recipe for staying in football games for 4 quarters is don't turn the ball over, have our defense play really, really well for the next 17 weeks, and then kind of see where we are in the 4th quarter. But I was really impressed. I was really happy for Gerard. To get a win underneath his belt, man. Big fan of Gerard and him. And so I was super pumped for them. So, but yeah, this is kind of what we needed though, in Foxborough was to, after everything that we did last year and, all the turmoil, Bill leaving, new coaching staff, still some players here, but it's a relatively new team, to go out week 1 and get a win against a good team, was huge for us.
These teams are very similar to me. Yeah. Brand new coaching eras and playing with similar styles. Tough defense. They want to run the ball, and then the run sets up the pass.
Yeah, I mean, listen, you guys have a lot more names that are going to be noticeable on the offensive side of the ball. Defensively, we have some really good players on defense, and that showed on Sunday. Pass rush was there. Secondary was there. We held Jamar to under 70 yards. So, Christian Gonzalez coming back, rookie that coming off an injury was huge. Jabril Peppers, Duggar. I mean, we got some guys out there that can play. Yeah. It's really, it's our success is going to be how well can our offense move and put points on the board. So it's right now we're going with Jacoby. And I think if Jacoby can play smart, have positive football plays, we don't turn the ball over and we kind of battle with that field position. I think, we're going to find ways to stay in games. I'm not saying that we're not going to blow anybody out and we're not a team that's built to play from behind, but if we can kind of chip away here and there and our defense continues to play well, then, we're going to find ourselves in more games than probably a lot of people think.
Well, not to get too personal here, boys, but I was sleeping last night peacefully in my Seahawks jammies and off in dreamland. And then all of a sudden I started having a nightmare about the New England Patriots offense. And Lofa, what that nightmare's name is.
Yeah, Rhamondre Stevenson. I mean, to the tune of 25 carries. Yeah, Chris. Like, so in that offense, I mean, you speak to the when the run game gets going like that, how much it opens up for the receivers in the pass game.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of talk going into this year was how bad our offensive line is going to be, and just the inconsistency there. But I mean, those guys played a hell of a game. I mean, listen. Yes, Rhamondre made some good plays and good cuts and found the holes and ran the ball, but it starts up front. And if we're able to do that, and I would imagine that Seattle is going to come into New England and say, hey, we're not going to let Rhamondre run for 125 plus yards. That's going to now push the ball into Jacoby's hands and see how we're going to be able to deal with that, and how some of we have a young receiving core. So I think we're going to rely, I would imagine that we're going to try to keep this run game going. I think that's going to be a big part of our identity. And then hopefully that will open up a little bit of the play action and some stuff down the field. But again, we don't have a DK on the outside. We don't really have a Tyler Lockett. So you're going to see a lot of crossing routes. You're going to see a lot, stuff across the middle, get guys open, get guys on the move, let Jacoby kind of move around, and just hopefully make the right decisions. And if it's not there, dump the ball down or just move on. That was something that we didn't do last year and just killed us.
Well, that's what kind of has me scared, Lofa, right? I mean, in the past few years here, and I know it's a different regime and everything, but just historically, a strong running back, a quarterback who doesn't turn the ball over, and a strong defense is a recipe for disaster sometimes as a Seahawks fan, especially early in the season.
I mean, that was always a recipe for a win. Like that was the mentality that when I came in under Mike Holmgren, and I'm sure it sounds familiar, Chris, under Belichick, and even with Gerard, right? He's a former middle linebacker. You know what we're already preaching up there to the team: protect the ball, play great defense, and so. Yeah, I know what they're going to try to do, but I really specifically, what are you seeing with this receiving core? I want to take it there because we know Rhamondre is going to get his touches, but like the receiving core, like introduce us to them and please tell us what you love and what you think they need to work on.
I mean, so we drafted 2 young guys. So we have Polk and Baker. Baker was not active last week. A little bit of a surprise to me and probably some other people, just because he did have a good training camp, and also a guy that's got tremendous upside. Both those guys, they're tremendous athletes, good route runners, catch the ball well. What I would probably look to see is, a guy like Pop Douglas, who to get more involved. He really came on last year and was a guy that we really looked to make some plays. Slot guy, not an outside. We have Butte who was active, and it's really going to be a mix of those 4 to 5 guys all year round. Not guys that probably a lot of people know their names, right? And they are what we're going to have to rely on is their youth and their ability to run and their ability to try to get open against man coverage, because it's going to be man. If we're going to stop if teams are going to come in here and try to stop the ball, we're going to have to get open on the outside, and our offensive line is going to have to find some time to, we're not going to have all day to drop back. I think I mean, listen, this is the NFL. Not every quarterback's got 3-4 seconds back there. So Jacoby's going to have to be smart with his decision making. And I would look to see, Van Pelt to try to get these younger guys involved more, as we go into week 2, week 3, and see how well we're able to help. Maybe we can get some chunk plays down the field, because we had to sustain drives last week. And that's tough to do week in and week out. And we can't rely on Rhamondre just to run the ball 100 plus yards a game. That's tough sledding, man. And that's not fair to him. So like, he's going to need some help on the outside and for these young guys. So I would love to be able to see these guys get the ball in their hands a little bit more this week, and see if they can kind of open some more things up for this offense.
I guess like tight ends always been a focal point. I mean, you look at the tight ends that Bill always had, Gronk, like all of them, just going back historically, even back to his Giants days. Mark Bavaro, shout out Massachusetts. But how are they using them? Like, are they getting them involved at all? Because that's usually a run game, and a tight end and a great defense is usually a quarterback's best friend.
I mean, we didn't see a ton of tight end play. last week. I think that as the season goes on, we're going to find Van Pelt's going to find his personnel that is going to work. And I think that he's going to kind of play around with those. I really do. I really do think that being more into that 12 kind of 21 and then being able to kind of use the field, spread it out that way, just so, hey, we can get a chip on the outside. We can get some extra help just if we need to take a shot play, because our offensive line is not built to hold up for, more than a couple of seconds. And that's okay, because we can just kind of move the ball down the field, make smart decisions, and we go from there. But there's going to be that element of these guys. We don't have a Gronk, we don't have any of those guys. It's a different team, man. It's a completely different team.
Well,
there's no names, man. There's no Edelman. There's no Dola. There's nobody.
No Hogan.
There's no James White. There's no Hogan. There's a completely different team, man. It's like you look out there and you're trying to name people from the past years, and there's maybe one guy on offense that's been there. So it's a different team, but you know what? It's a younger team. We got some veteran leaders, and right now they got to have a ton of confidence going, playing at home, again, against a very good Seattle team, which, we have some history too. I know Seattle's going to come into Foxborough and try to, really is going to play this game hard, knowing what we did in Cincinnati.
So, yeah. Well, I don't know if you watched the tape of the Broncos game there, but our secondary, our defense, I mean, they are hungry. They could have had maybe 4 picks in that game. There was one
against a rookie quarterback, but
well,
he's a 26-year-old rookie.
Well, now we're going up against that. But I mean, they had a forced fumble. They recovered that one. There was another fumble that they didn't recover. So, I mean, ball hawking defense is back in Seattle. That's got to scare Patriots fans, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, listen, when you think about Seattle, what comes to mind is Legion of Doom, right? So you think about all these guys, these good players, all these players that I've played against in the past, the Camp Chancellors and Richard Shermans of the world that, we looked forward to playing these guys, but that, listen, they were going to give you their best game. And yeah, that's a challenge, man. But that's going to be a challenge, I think, throughout the season especially for our young receivers, because they're going to line up against guys that are established in this league, that know how to play. They're true professionals, and they're going to have to show up, right? I mean, if they can't show up, we're not going to rely on running the ball 35 times a game. That's just not. It's not going to do anything for us other than kill Rhamondre, and he's just not. He's gonna peter out midway through the season. So, but again, man, that win for us was big. So to have that confidence going into week 2, listen, this is the NFL, ebb and flow, man. And right now I would imagine we're gonna try to ride that wave, and hopefully we can play a really good game against Seattle, protect the football, and see what happens.
Yeah. Go ahead, Lofa.
Is there any worry of a letdown after going to Cincy, kicking ass against a team? A lot of people said they counted you out, and then you come home. Is there any worry there?
Yeah, I mean, I'm never going to get my hopes too high, right? We don't know enough about this team. I'm a hopeful guy, and I love Jacoby. I played with him when he was a rookie. And I know that he's got a massive chip on his shoulder, knowing that everyone really counted him out for the season and really expected Drake to be the starter going into week 1. I'm happy that he's sitting and he's able to progress a little bit and learn how to be a quarterback. But listen, the keys to winning these games, it's a tough task every game, because we can't turn the ball over, because that's just going to be a disaster. We can't count on our defense to create 3 turnovers a game, 2 in defensive in their own territory, right? We had short fields that we worked with, and we only got 10 points out of it. So it's like, these are things like being more efficient in the red zone, doing something, being able to put more than 3 points on the board. These are all things that you're going to have to work on. And again, it's week 1. This identity of this team and who they're going to be, I think, is still going to happen. But it is a young team. So, and as well as I know, it's a long season, man. So I know that how well and me and my co-host Chris Price were talking about this, how well can they handle the low, right? When it goes bad, right? And they're
Yeah.
losing. How well do they handle that? And how well do they respond to that the next week?
You know, that's what I was so impressed with in our first half, like the resiliency that you're talking about and what it's required and what it takes mentally to just push through every situation, good or bad, just stay right, even keel. We had an interception inside our red zone. We had a fumble inside our red zone. We had 2 safeties against us, and we just kept answering the call. So I was very impressed with the mindset. And everything you've just explained is very impressive, that it's a young team, a first-year head coach, and I bet you he's coaching even harder this week than he did last week, probably what like Bill did to you guys, right? You know, Mayo's getting
I know, but Mayo's probably at least pumping his team up. We go in a Monday meeting. We had just won a football game and be like, you guys still suck. Like, we're like, you're like, damn, Bill, like we just won him a game. And, it's tough to win. Be like, bad ball film. We're straight up on Monday morning, regardless of what game it was. Wow. I think Gerard might have approached this game a little bit differently, knowing we got some stuff to work on, but y'all should be pretty damn proud of going out there and getting a win, and let's just continue. Let's build off of this, ride this, get this confidence up, because that's going to be big for this young team is going to be confidence. But like we said, how do they handle this adversity when we go down by a touchdown, or we go down by 2, or we lose 2 in a row, whatever happens throughout the season, and we know it's going to happen at some point. How well do all these young guys handle it? And can those veteran guys, can Juwan Bentley, Dietrich Wise, Peppers, Jacoby, David Andrews, guys that have been there, guys that know how to win, how well are they able to kind of combat that and get the guys like ready to go and kind of move on, knowing that it's such a long season?
Chris Hogan, co-host of the Patriots Report with Price and Hogan here on the Believe Podcast Network, is joining us on this look at the coming up at week 2 at the Patriots here. What about the Patriots defense, though, Chris? How good is Christian Gonzalez?
I mean, listen, he's a good player. He coming off an injury. He is going. I mean, you saw him. He followed Jamar Chase. I don't know if you guys watched any of the game, but he followed Jamar Chase all game. He did not have him on an island. There was safety help over the top, and we double teamed him in the red zone. But that's just being smart, right? I mean, we're taking away their best receiver because Higgins was out, so we knew where the ball was going to go. Kid's got a lot. I mean, he's got a lot of potential, man. I really think that he's a quiet kid. Reminds me a lot of how he kind of carries himself, of like Stephon Gilmore type player. Just the way that he doesn't really talk a lot. He's real quiet, but he goes about his work. But I mean, listen, he's a tremendous athlete, and I hope that he just stays healthy and continues to work on his craft. I think that he can be a very good corner in this league.
Here's the tail of the tape. Christian Gonzalez, 6'1", 205. DK, 6'4", 235. And it goes down on Sunday.
Yeah. I mean, but that's what we're going to ask of this kid, man. I mean, he's going to get it every single week. It's like, all right, who's number 1? Okay, here you go. Here's your task. How well can you handle that? How well can we take away DK, who didn't really seem too active last week, in that game. So, and that they're going to get him going at some point, right? I mean, you got to throw that ball. So it's going to be a tough task for him. I would imagine that Gerard and that defensive staff, they're going to have a good plan for him. But, you got Tyler in there, and you have the backs, and you have to worry about Gino running all over the place, and so this is a different game now, because we didn't expect Joe to go out there and run for 100+ yards, but Gino on this is different now. So like pass rush has got to be sound, where he can't be just like rushing past the quarterback, or Gino's going to be out of there. So again, this is like goes into that. How well can this young team kind of learn from the win, but also know that maybe that's not going to work this week. So it'll be interesting, man. I'm excited for this team and for this matchup.
You don't know how big the smile I just got when you said the DNs can't go rushing past the court. It just shows me.
Come on, man. I know football.
You were listening when Bill was in team meetings. Because that is such a defensive minded thing. Like, don't go past it. damn DNs, right?
Yep.
Wow, that's incredible. Okay, and do you got a Mayo impersonation? You gave us a Bill one, which is pretty
don't have
good.
a Mayo. I have not heard Mayo speak enough, so I don't have a Mayo impersonation. To be honest with you, I got it. Bill's easy, man, because you just get that grumpy old like, come on, man, like it's
okay. But when you had a good game, did he show you?
No, bro, it's the same thing, bro. I'm not. Listen, Bill. I loved Bill. I loved playing for him. It takes a specific type of player to want to be in that locker room with him, and week in and week out, and his expectations are through the roof for all of his people. And if you're not meeting those, he's gonna find someone else. So like that's the stress level, the expectation. I mean, it's high in that building when he was there, but he had the guys to do it. And if you went into a game and listen, we won
a couple Super Bowls.
Yeah, we won a couple Super Bowls. I mean, he smiled after those, but I mean, I remember winning a game. I remember winning a game in New York on like Monday night, and it was a game that the Jets had a good team. It was always tough going there, late in the season, and they played us well. We had to come back. Team, I mean, we battled like crazy. We came in all happy, and I tell you that meeting on Monday was brutal. It was brutal. Because he is going to point out, he is so quick to point out all the bad things, but I guarantee you Gerard's run the ship a little bit differently, in New England, and he's doing it his own way. You can tell that he's got his own spin on how to coach, but there's a little bit of Bill built in there, for sure. It's just
what's your go-to Bill-ism as you think back on your time with him?
Oh man, there's a lot.
You got a lot of great one-liners.
I do. It's his one-liners. It's like, in front of the entire team, if you're as a receiver, and he'll just call you out and just be like, I mean, you have one fucking job to do. It's like, what's your job? You're like, catch the football, coach. He goes, I mean, come on. I could go down to Foxborough High School and find a kid. I'm like, God dang, man.
The guy
this is like, the guy, like this is it was tough, man. It's like going like
over there.
Yeah, it's Darrell. You're in Buffalo going against Stephon Gilmore. I mean, all these guys, it's like just Jalen Ramsey just in your face the entire game. But again, you either were the sensitivity in Foxborough, you had to remove that entirely, or you are not going to be happy.
I love hearing that. Like, I would have loved to play for Bill, and I know he would have got the best out of me. And I just love the accountability.
That was the biggest thing. Yeah.
Right. So, because like Mike was pretty. He was pretty quiet and pretty strict, and then you mess up, he was sure to tell you, Big Shell, Mike Holmgren, legendary coach. But you got to be happy when you walk away with the hardware. You got 2 rings, right? It was all worth it, right?
Yeah. Oh, that every single thing was worth it, man. I mean, and to be honest with you, after leaving the game now, this is my second year out. It's, you miss more of that time, at practice or in the locker room. And to be honest with you, I miss those team meetings, being, going into them a little bit, kind of nervous that you're going to get called out, or on a Tuesday or Wednesday, whenever our meeting was, getting quizzed on who was the 5th nickel dime safety that was going to come into the game, and knowing his player, his personnel. I mean, yeah, man, I got quizzed on that one time. A kid that just got picked up that morning, and he asked me who was going to be the nickel that came into the game. And I had an answer for him, and he called me out and was like, nah. And then I later to find out after the meeting, the kid literally got picked up an hour ago. And
as you were walking into your meeting.
Yeah. But that's what he did, man. He did it. He preyed on the people that could take it. He didn't do it. He didn't do it to rookies. He did it. Jules got the worst of it. Gronk got it. Brady got it. Devin got it. All the guys that he knew that we're going to be out there, and we're going to hold ourselves accountable to, knowing our stuff.
That now everybody else is like, damn, if he's yelling at them like that,
my first team meeting, he put on the AFC Championship game in Denver after they lost, and he's calling out Brady, and I'm like, damn, what's going on? This from me coming from Buffalo, this is a guy that obviously I've looked up to, and now I get a chance to play with. It's like no one can touch him, right? Well, no, I was that got set straight pretty quickly, so I knew what I was walking into after that.
Did anybody dare laugh? Because I don't know if I could have held my laughter when someone's getting ripped. Like
Gronk, Gronk was it was always like you yell at Gronk, but you always kind of understand that he's gonna have like a little bit of a goofy mentality about doing something wrong or getting some, so a lot of guys did not laugh because they were probably terrified that they were going to get called on next. So it was pretty quiet in there when someone was getting ripped.
Oh man. Interesting.
Yeah. We got to get some predictions here. How do you guys see this thing ending up on Sunday? We do this on the show. Well, it's our sponsor, Simply Seattle. They sponsor the score prediction challenge. Lofa, somebody won in week 1. Chris, we do this thing. They got to nail the score. And they guess, and it's hard to do. Surprisingly, not that many people nail it all that often. But Lofa, we had a winner right off the bat who guessed 26-20.
Wow.
Yeah. Yell Darb 20, I believe, is their handle. And I think we've had 2 winners in like the last 4 years, Chris. And then this person just comes out of nowhere and gets it.
Week 1 gets
shout out to them. Shout out. They get that $25 gift card to Simply Seattle. Of course, if nobody nails it, that amount rolls over until the next week. So we're starting fresh again this week, right back at $25. Get your guesses in, find our post on Instagram, and you can leave your predictions there. But guys, predictions for this game, Chris, you can start. You can start it off. When the dust settles, what'll be the score?
I'm not a great score guesser here. I think listen, I would guess, and obviously I'm going to go with New England just because they're my guys, and I know that how we're going to have to win this game. It's going to be like 17-14. It's going to be a 1-score game, 17-14, New England. But there's going to be a lot of things that we're going to have to do right in this game to get a W.
Okay. All right. Well said. I'm expecting tough defense and on the road, right? Everything. And they'll slow the game down, which will slow our offense down by running the ball. You guys will run it a lot, probably another 20-plus carries for Rhamondre. So I'm going to go 21 Seattle, New England 17.
Ooh, okay. I think we're all kind of similar on this then. You know me, man. I got to go with kind of a funky score because it just never ends up a nice, clean, divisible by 7 or anything like that for some reason with the Seahawks. But I do have the Seahawks coming out of there with a victory, 23-19 over the New England Patriots. Don't ask me how we get there. But then again, last week we had 2 safeties.
Yeah.
Right? So you never know what's going to happen. Chris, thank you so much for joining us here on All Day. You guys can check out Chris and his partner on the Believe Network on doing their thing on their podcast. You're the man, dude. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you guys.
Chris, love watching you play. Super Bowl champion. Congrats 2 times over. And thank you for jumping on.
Well, as you always say, Lofa, anyone who spends a decade in the NFL is an absolute beast. So thanks to Chris Hogan for being on the show. Speaking of beasts, we have one of the Seahawks' newest wide receivers sitting down right now. So let's get to that.
It's a little hot up in here.
It's just you, big dog. It's just you.
What's up with it?
What's up, Lavishka? How you doing, man?
I'm good. How y'all doing?
Hey, thanks for your time today.
No problem.
Laviska Shenault Jr. You're a junior, but what we're talking about your first name. What's the meaning, or where does that come from?
I was named after my father. I'm pretty sure my father died when I was 10. But I don't know. People always ask me this. I don't have the answer. I know my name means unique. I think that's the definition I gave it, but I don't know where it comes from.
Man, unique, just like your play style. I love watching you run, right? When you have the ball, when you're blocking anything, it's just there's a tenacity there. Did you ever play defense?
I did. Really, all my life I played defense until high school.
Really? What was the switch there?
it was just one of these guys that I knew, one of my guys I knew I kind of grew up with, and he was like, man, I want to throw you the ball, go play receiver. So I'm like, I bet. And like the type of mindset I have, like to this day, I feel like I can do anything in this world. So I just like, okay.
Oh
man, we love watching you run. We love watching you break tackles. What makes you such a good tackle breaker?
I for sure can say, my size. I just think also my mentality. I don't want to go down. It don't matter if it's 3 people on me already. I still don't want to go down. So I think strongly. A big part of that is just, the mentality.
As we've been talking about you and your game here on the show, we brought up Cordero Patterson. We've brought up Debo. Are these guys that you look to and guys you watch their film, and what do you get out of watching them?
What I get out of it is for sure that, those guys are yak players. They do the same, same things, similar. They have a lot of similarities. I guess you can obviously see, their coaches putting them in great positions to, be the best player that they can be. They're just freaks, and they do what they do at a very high level, and it's fun to watch them.
Your first go with Seattle here, new regime in town, new coordinators, all that stuff. But let's talk offensively. Ryan Grubb, his system. What's it like playing in that system?
Oh, it's fun. It's fun. He give you that vibe of different. And I've been in the league for 5 years now, and I've had 7 OCs. So it's definitely different. And I like it. I don't want to put too much out there, but when we're clicking and we're playing sound football, everybody doing the things they're supposed to do, it gets real lovely.
So what's your favorite thing to do? Like, correct me if I'm mistaken, but when you were in Jacksonville, I swear there was like injuries or a game where you went back to tailback, and I don't know. I just saw you running people over. Did that really happen? Please correct me if I'm wrong.
You said, was I really going in the backfield and running people over?
Yeah.
Most definitely. I can go look at my film right now. I mean, I can go show you my film right now. Yeah, it's a couple of snaps. I think I probably took I didn't take too many handoffs my rookie year, but I think I took probably 5 to 8 snaps. And yeah, I remember vividly against Titans. I think I got 3 carries that game. It's fun. It's scary, but it's fun.
How do you feel about? Oh, sorry. Go ahead, Lofa.
I don't feel like anything scares you when I see you run that ball or just take the field, man. It's a special mentality, and I just want to say I love watching you play. So I'll let Brett take it from here.
I appreciate that.
Well, we know your receiver. We know you can run the ball, break tackles, catch the ball, all that. But receivers have to block too. What's your mentality when it comes to that and blocking for these great backs that the Seahawks have?
Man, I honestly, I like to dog people out. I mean, honestly, think about it. If it's 2 grown men and you just obviously whoop another grown man, that's just that's not something that people do all the time, and it's not easy to do. So I just think it's just also, I mean, putting great things on film. Like I know coaches, I know people around the world like to see that type of stuff, and I just feel like I'm the type of player that's you can ask me to go do your dirty work. I do anything you ask me, because it's just a mentality type of thing.
Yeah.
Well, I feel like you could play both sides of the ball, and there's a kid at Colorado, right? Your alma mater, right? Travis Hunter. What do you think of his game?
Oh, he's crazy. Yeah, he's different. I can't wait to see him at the next level. But yeah, he's just crazy. What can't he do? It's just fun to watch him. I mean, you never know when something exciting is about to happen watching him.
Well, also your return game, the returns, the dynamic kickoff, big subject in the NFL this season, big subject here on the show. Lofa hates it. How do you feel about the dynamic kickoff?
Well, why you hate it?
Because I'm old and kind of a traditionalist, but I just feel like, okay, so there was one return taken back this by former Hawk DJ Dallas. I just wonder if these rules were intact, does my man Devin Hester is he the player that he was, right? And does he get a gold jacket, right?
I'm not gonna lie to you, he's still getting that gold jacket.
Oh, in this new day and age.
Yeah, so now to answer your question, I like it. It's I wouldn't say it's easier, but it's more room for big plays. Now it is a little more difficult because it's not too much space and everything happens so fast. But once you hit it and if you make make one dude miss, and it can be a very big return. So I just think it's just room for a lot of good things to happen.
The only thing, your point, they're coming down at one wave, right? And so I know what you're saying there. And hey, if Laviska, if you like it, I love it. All right, I'm done fighting it, man. Don't fight me.
But I understand why you say what you say.
Yeah. But the only thing for me about it is, as a viewer, sometimes I feel like something's messed up with my TV because I see the guy kick it off and I see nobody moving.
Nobody moving. Look, we still trying to adjust. Well, I don't know if everybody is, but I am. I'm on kickoff as well. So when that ball is kicked and we can't move yet, I'm jittery. Like I'm ready to go. So it's different, but what's this world without being able to adapt,
Absolutely. You are new to Seattle. You're new to the Seahawks, new to the area. Have you been able to do some cool Seattle type stuff in your time in town yet?
Not yet. I had this photo shoot with this Seattle the Seattle people. I don't know the correct meaning for it, but I did this photo shoot for a magazine. That's probably the only fun thing I've done so far. I do know Seattle has a lot of great outdoorsy places to go visit and stuff like that. I do have a dog, so I'll be slowly doing the Seattle things as this year go on.
2 questions. So it was a fashion shoot, correct?
Yep.
Okay. Where did you get your fashion sense? And then the other question is going to be, what kind of dog do you have?
Okay, where did I get my fashion sense from? I would say, I feel like I come from not having much, and I come from, I wouldn't even say where I come from, but I had it in my mind that when I get to a place that I want to be and I can do things that I want to do, I'm a do it at a high level, and I carry my image and myself, I speak highly of myself, and I only want other people to see that as well. So not only am I like doing this for like other people, it's not really about other people, but like I just really like it. Like I just really like to do it. And I just like to, like I said, I'm able to go buy things. I'm able to go do this. So it's just fun. Like I don't really got too much to say about it. Like, cause I didn't grow up on fashion, but I knew I always wanted it. I always wanted it, and I couldn't. So now I can. And it's like, I bet. Like I feel like I have that swag. I have that aura that everybody the new word everybody talk about now. So it's just fun. I just like putting it together, and whatever I like. But what type of dog I have is a Bully XL.
Bully X. Can you tell the guest what that is?
A Bully XL is a American. I think the exact name is an American Pit Bull. But it's not a regular Pit Bull. She's 70 pounds, and regular Pit Bulls are bad and tear up stuff, and like unless you train them. But I feel like Bully XLs, they're more. I feel like all Pit Bulls are family dogs, but
these are little squatty ones, right? That are huge.
The little squatty ones. She's 70 pounds, so like they got different sizes. They got smaller ones. They got pocket bullies, they call them. But I don't want no small dog for real. I like.
What's her name?
Big dogs. Gigi.
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, you're headed on the road this week. Give us a thought heading into this Patriots matchup. How's the team?
This is gonna be a good one. What you about to say? My bad.
Oh, I was just saying, mood of the team. How you feeling?
Oh, okay. Yeah. This is gonna be a good one. Patriots are a very known team of having a great defense. And they do have great defense. You can look at the stats and stuff like that. Been under Belichick for so long, they still doing the same stuff. They still have that same mentality. This is a very hard-nosed defense, but there's ways to get to them, and we gotta we gotta make that come to light.
Hell yeah, man. Well, we'll be watching. We'll be rooting for you. You know that. Good luck this weekend. Let's get you out of here on a bit of a silly one. What is your go-to halftime snack?
Ooh, go-to halftime snack. I'm not really a snacker during the games for real, but if I got to get something, probably a banana, or like, honestly, they be having hot chews in there too. I'll grab me a couple hot chews.
Oh,
hell yeah.
Like 3 or 4 of them.
Lavishka, we didn't have those back in the day.
Thank you so much for your time, man.
I didn't need nothing. Y'all just ready mentally already.
Come back anytime. Thanks so much, and good luck this weekend.
Appreciate it.
Love watching you play, man. Keep doing it, and I can't wait to see the fashion as it continues to go, because I know you're going to set some trends.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it only gets better. Trendsetter for sure. I appreciate y'all.
No doubt.
All right, let's get to some other headlines, Seahawks news, and also look around the NFL or the football world in general. Brought to you by our friends Bet Online, the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for everything football. Lofa, they're having a $200,000 mega contest this season.
Very nice.
That's some clams, baby. You pick 5 games. You pick 5 games against the spread every week for your chance to win weekly prizes and a share of the $200K. When the game is over, head on over to our online casino and get in a game of blackjack or poker. See, Bet Online is not just sports betting. It's wagering on everything out there. Go to the website, use their mobile app. It's Bet Online where the game starts. Lofa, some breaking news with the Seahawks is they've restructured DK's contract to, I guess, spread that money out and free up some cap space, about $9.5 million. Speaking of clams, why would they do that? And what do you think they're planning to do?
This early, it's obviously not a trade deadline thing, but yeah, it's always team friendly when a restructuring, just converting, some of that money up front. So, he'll get a nice little signing bonus, I think, within the next 10 days or so. Good for him.
Almost 12 million, 11.875.
Right on. Good for him. And then saves the team 9.5, you said. The flexibility that provides. If they feel like they're lacking anywhere, maybe they might make a move early in the season. But your guess is as good as mine, partner. I think teams do this anyways. But the closer it gets to like the trade deadline, that's when the antennas go up. Like, what are we doing?
Well, it could mean re-signing someone or extending someone else.
Absolutely.
All right.
You got thoughts on that? Who you got?
Honestly, we kind of talked about it already, but nobody really yet. It's week 2. It's brand new coaching staff, brand new coordinators. I think I need to see where all these pieces fit into place before we go throwing all these contracts around. And I think we need to see some of the play on the field and some of the return.
Yeah, that's how rumors get started, Brett. Don't start rumors.
I'm not trying to. Actually, you know what? Let's start some rumors. How about this? Sheriff got released by the Browns. You want the Seahawks to pick him up on the practice squad or bring him back in?
Yeah, he looked great during the preseason. So, I mean, that is a very real possibility, partner. So, we loved him. We just you can't keep everybody. And, like I said, a lot of our guys got plucked when those final cuts were made. So would absolutely love to see him back.
The injury report, looking at the injury report online here from the Seahawks going into week 2, Kenneth Walker, as we've talked about with the oblique, he did not practice Wednesday. George Fant with the knee did not practice Wednesday. Chenault with a knee did not practice. And Dodson with a shoulder did not practice. Actually, the Seahawks injury list here is a bit too long for my liking. You got Lockett, limited practice, Fant, limited. Jerome Baker limited, Draymond Jones limited, Reek Woolen limited, Trey Brown limited, and then Laken Tomlinson and Anthony Bradford are FP. What is FP? Full participant?
I think so, yeah.
Okay, well, they're listed on there. So, yeah, but the LP, limited participation, and then the DNPs obviously did not practice. So the list is long there. Which one concerns you the most?
Definitely K9 and Dodson. And if you remember, let's start with K9 first. It was listed as an abdominal, and then I've torn the oblique. And if it's an oblique strain, yes, it's the ab region, but I just wonder, I guess I'm more grateful that it's not like maybe a sports hernia, like anything of that, like a core muscle, because the oblique over time will get back. It'll be all right. Played through it, and it's painful. And with his style of running, it's not awesome to have, but he's a tough kid, so he'll be fine. But Dodson, that one's a surprise. He finished the game. He looked good. he stayed down a little longer than I would have liked on, because I see everything, just how guys bounce up, and he's a guy that generally he brings a lot of energy. Like when he hits those guys with, all that power, he gets up and lets them know. Right. And there was 2 times, one in particular where we were both, the whole stadium was like, ooh, and he was just kind of down. And I was like, all right, come on, kid, get up. And he did, but it was just, so now shoulder injury, that's something to keep an eye on. Cause man, he was out there running around hitting people and like just bringing that energy. Like I said,
quick note, my bad, not released from the Browns. He had his awesome preseason game against the Browns. He was released from the Panthers, going back to Sheriff there on that news. My bad. The one that concerns me or that I'm just looking at on the injury report, George Fant at tackle, right tackle. It's been an issue for some time. It's some struggles there against the Broncos. And we need to get that position and get that position right. And the offensive line in general. So with Fant being out, the guys that have stepped in there, maybe some struggles a little bit. That's a spot that we really need to shore up.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. He went out early. I think it was like first or second series. And so, we look better in the second half. And so I'm encouraged by, what we saw.
It's just hitting me. Maybe some cap space opened up, bring someone in, perhaps on the offensive line. You were asking me maybe what they plan to do, and I didn't know in the moment. But now that we're sitting here talking about it, could be a possibility.
Is there any disgruntled offensive linemen like we got Dwayne years ago? Remember?
Right.
Any tackles out there that in the news and the rumor mills that they just because Trent got signed back to the Niners, so that rules out that possibility.
Yeah, that's not going to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe some of our listeners, some Seahawks fans out there, they got some ideas. They'll let us know. The Patriots injuries here. Sidey Sow. How do you say this? SIDY SOW, a guard. He's the only one that did not practice. Other guys limited in practice, but nothing really jumps out at me from their injury report.
Say that name.
Sidey? I don't know. Shady? What's his name?
That's the whole name? That's the whole name?
SIDY, first name. Last name SOW.
I feel like it'd be like City Sow.
Okay. Well, either way, he's the only one.
We'll have somebody fact checked us on that.
Speaking of injuries, as we look around the league within the division, bad news for Puka Nacua and the Rams. He goes on the IR. Will miss at least 4 games. So, yeah, as a Seahawks fan, look, you don't want to see anyone go down or go out, but hopefully.
No, but I am checking the schedule. Do we have them in the next month, please?
That's what I was thinking. When do we play them? Hurry up.
We're gonna have to get McNeil on that one. But that was my fantasy sleeper pick last year. And he did a lot of numbers. But a guy that I think they have several other veterans in there too, but Whittington, I was calling him Whittingham, erroneously in the preseason. But he's a rookie, so I don't care, right? But just watch out for this dude, Whittington. For a rookie from Texas he's a beast. Like he runs hard after the catch, like runs through people. So much like our guy Lavishka coming up in a little bit.
Speaking of ratings, speaking of skills, Marshawn Lynch. We talked about him, all the sort of fun that he was having on the sideline, but the jacket that he was wearing, it was a Madden jacket. I don't know if you noticed at the time, but on the back of it, it said like official player ratings adjustment czar or something. But Marshawn, he tweeted, he's been posting, if you are playing Madden and you got a problem with what your players are rated or a specific rating on a certain player, apparently you're supposed to call Marshawn. There's a 1-800 number and everything for it. And so he was there for Legends Weekend and hanging out with the Hawks, but also he was there in like an official capacity, I guess, for EA Sports. And he had a clipboard and was looking over the adjustments or player ratings and what he thinks they should be adjusted to, at least.
I mean, that is a brilliant marketing strategy because, yeah, you know, you're going to have to call Marshawn and, you know, the hotline. I bet you they're just filling it with, you know, current players just cussing it out. And then, you know, Marshawn, I can't wait to hear how you know, he returns their, like, is it via email, via letter? He could do so much. He could do so much with it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure we'll see some of that coming up in like upcoming commercials or marketing or, you know, some sort of promotion. It could be Super Bowl commercial, possibly.
Oh, I mean, I think it'll be could even be held off until next year, or, you know, the ratings update though. And so it could be him like every week or month, probably month, just like, hey, you got a bump. Good job, kid. Your shit's still weak. You know, he will drop some gems. That's what I can't wait for. It
reminds me of like Tony Romo sitting at the Corona help desk or something. If you were to call Marshawn back in the day and complain about one of your Madden ratings, which one would you complain about?
How much time you got? Because we could be here all fucking day.
Really?
Yeah, it was what was it? They had me down pretty low for, I think, tackling, strength, getting off a block. Like, I was like, who puts this together? Like, do you guys even watch football?
Did you go in there and edit your own ratings? Be honest.
Of course.
99 everything.
Everything. Even made myself 6'2".
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, every time I play, I go in and create a player out of thin air. But for you guys were already there. I mean, how awesome is that?
Oh, it's the childhood dream. Like, you're, you know, finally on a video game. And like, because like when you're NCAA back in the day, it just has the numbers. They wouldn't put names on there, even though some colleges had names on jerseys. And so you're like, oh, I mean, I know it's me, but it's, you know, I don't see the name. And then you get to it's kind of like that rite of passage. You get to the NFL and you get to play using your own character. And there was like a glitch, I believe, because they did give me good speed, like surprisingly good speed. And so everybody used to tell me in like 06 or 07, when my ratings got a little bump after a Pro Bowl, they would put me at D end and I would just run all the way around and make the set. I had like 30 sacks with you one season.
Well, I used to, when I was really young, you could just turn off offsides and just bring someone on the defense to just stand right next to the quarterback in the backfield. Just end the game with like 35 sacks.
That's cheating. Unbelievable.
Yeah, with that attitude. Anyway.
Oh, no, with any attitude.
Let's get out of here, man.
Clearly against the rules.
Great episode. Thank you guys all for listening. Shout out to our sponsors, Bet Online, Delta, Simply Seattle, and Epic Seats. You know that we will be back after the games on Sunday going live, just like we always do. So we hope you guys are here. Keep spreading the word about All Day. Follow us on Instagram at All Day Family. If you have emails to send us, we're opening up the email inbox and getting after reading some of your thoughts on these preview episodes and these other episodes that aren't live. So hit us up, Seahawkspod@gmail.com. Let's fire that thing back up. That's it, though, Lofa. Let's get out of here. Hands in the middle, breaking it down.
Is this me or you?
Go for it.
You broke it down. Actually, no, our guest did, didn't they?
Yes.
We got to call Coyote back up and break us down. He's good luck. Hey, we're 1-0, but that shit's over, man. It's on to the next week. And this show goes on the fucking road. You hear me? Let them know who the fuck the Hawks are. Hawks on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hawks.